I'll be your host tonight. Hello, world. But let's get started. Let's introduce the team. First up, Mr. Saturday Night, Novum Pasquale.
Hello.
Hello, evening. Novum. How are we?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm pretty hype about this conversation that we're about to have, but looking forward to it.
And I assume you've watched all 2 episodes?
Yes, I have, and I'm guessing you have as well.
I have. But look, let's get some other people on board. Let's bring up Mr. Nicky Dejal.
Well,
hello, Nicky. How are we?
I'm good,
and
thank you.
Let's keep it rolling. Let's bring on Mr. James Jimmer.
What's good? What's good? Ready for this? Let's go. I got my drink. Got my drink. Let's go.
Mr. Casey Avila.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Ready to walk across my screen?
Karina just walked across.
Mr. Hans Wong.
Hey guys, how we going?
Formal.
Mr. Michael Collins.
You. Michelle.
Oh,
Michelle?
He was there. Oh,
Michelle.
Where is he? He's coming.
He's using the light
There
inside
he
the
is.
dark.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
You filter.
all right. Who else do we have here? Let's bring on your boy, Cisco. All right. And last but not least, Team Magneta.
Yo. Let's get it.
All right. So let's start. We'll start with those that are on the screen at the moment. And I think since this is about the Chicago Bulls and the Last Dance, let's start with what's your first memory of the Bulls or Michael Jordan? And let's start with Casey.
With me? Shit. There's a bit of feedback came up in here, right? I don't know if that's for all of us, just me, but I think everyone's getting feedback.
Feedback.
I'll keep going. So
Actually,
my
before
first
you-
memory of
that's
Michael
better.
Jordan was probably in 1992. He was versing Blazers. My brother Levi, God bless that guy. He was a big Michael Jordan dick rider. He was a big diehard Chicago Bulls dick rider. He was very competitive with me. And yeah, so he was like, you go for this team and then I'll go for the Chicago Bulls. You're not allowed to follow Chicago Bulls. And he gave me a Minnesota Vikings frisbee and he was like, that's your team. And unfortunately, I go for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So my first memory of Michael Jordan was literally him shitting on the Minnesota Timberwolves franchise. We had nobody back then, though, man. They stole Luke Longley from us. If it wasn't for Luke Longley, they wouldn't have had 3 other championship games. Putting my hot take with that. Let's give it to someone else.
Okay. Hans, over to you.
Oh, my first experience with Jordan and the Bulls probably would have come in probably year 3, year 4. I never played basketball or touched a basketball prior to that. My first sport was soccer and swimming. Hanging around all these little Asian kids trying to play basketball. Philos mainly out in the West. They were dressed up wearing all these Bulls jerseys and shorts. Who the hell is this guy? They're trying to do all these tricks, and this was before Ant 1, I think it was. Yeah, and I think that's how I got fell in love with the game through these guys and watching Jordan's highlights whenever we could, like through VHSs.
Very cool. What about you, Mr. Collins?
I don't remember a time before Jordan, honestly. I had 2 older brothers. They both played ball. But as a kid, there was 3 mics in the house. it was Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, and Mike Tyson. I didn't make the list,
Oh boy, that's what I'm talking about.
Mike Collins.
but that was the list. But I don't remember a time before Jordan. That's it. And there hasn't been a time after either.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Mike. How about you, Team McNeita?
Mine is Space Jam. That's it.
Damn, how old you, girl? How old is you?
I didn't start playing ball till I was like in 5th grade. So I never grew up watching MJ.
That's 91.
Yeah, but honestly, I
Oh,
didn't.
no,
I
fifth
never,
grade,
I never
fifth
really
grade.
watched
No, sorry.
Michael growing
No,
up.
early 2000s.
That was all like Kobe and Carter, Damon Stoudemire, those guys.
Damon Stoudemire. Damn, Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, mine was like probably like 91, 92. It's mostly during the Eastern Conference, the playoffs during the Eastern Conference finals or semifinals. That always, when I'd go to the States for summer, like with my family, we'd always catch it like in May or late April. And I'd always see Jordan like killing either the Knicks or who else would they play? I don't know. I saw mostly the Knicks in Boston, I think. But yeah, from there, I just kind of knew that he was the guy that we needed to get past every year to get to the finals, but we just never did. So
That's cool. Thank you, guys. Who's next? We got Novum.
Well, hello there. Yeah, I think my very first memory of like the Jordan era was like a cousin of mine who just came back from the US was wearing a pair of like fire red Jordan 5s, and he happened to be my size. We needed to get past every year to get. And like he gave me like these big pair of like 5 and started wearing them.
It's probably like.
And then ever since then, like I followed like highlights of MJ in the news, magazines, any posters that I could get, I could find. I will cut them up and stick them to my wall. That's pretty much me. And then like ever since then, decided like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna be team Nike, team Jordan. I don't remember the last time I've worn a pair of Adidas. So yeah.
Very cool. Cisco, what's your first memory of the Bulls or Jordan?
My first memory is actually from the first title, because my dad was a huge Lakers fan, or is a huge Lakers fan. So he was watching those finals on TV, and I just remember I remember the switch hand layup. I can remember watching it on TV, and it was pretty much from then that I liked red over yellow, so I chose the Bulls in that series. And then from then on, like Michael Jordan became like knowledge. You saw him every day on NBA action, so every Saturday at NBA action. So that's my first memory.
Nice. All right. I think Nick Star, you're up.
He's got himself on mute, this guy, bro. He's just prepping for hot
There he
takes. And he's going to appear soon.
No, Nikki. So let's go. Let's skip Nikki and let's go to James.
It's good. But, I mean, definitely my older brother is the one that was the basketball, like introduced basketball, like playing the game, like to me, because I didn't play at all. It was all football, it was all soccer. Like that ball was life. But I always paid attention to basketball, of course. Like Mike was saying, you know, Mike Jackson, Mike Jordan, Mike Tyson. Those are the three kings. Like appreciated for but I never paid attention to the game until AI came in. So that was like 96, 97 or 96 drafted. And then I started like, I don't know what it was. I think it was like fucking Channel 10, like Sports Tonight, fucking doing highlights and me seeing Iverson. What the? This guy's tiny. How the hell is he so good? And then I started just watching more basketball, and that pretty much led when I laughed there. And that's when I got on my Jordan rate as he was exiting that last dance. So that's probably my like introduction into it, into like really paying attention to Jordan, watching more basketball. So yeah, but that's when I really got into it.
All right. And Nikki, you're up. You're last. Hello, Nikki.
A bit of a scratchy sound going on, isn't it?
Oh.
That's him putting his hand into the packet of chips.
The crinkle
All
cut.
right. I think we're going to cut Nikki. All right.
Hey, pay attention, bro. Right here.
All right. We're going to cut Nikki for a sec. All right.
Man, what did I mean, you know what?
All right. Look, let's move on. I think since we talked about this being a conversation around The Last Dance, for the guys, let's start with James since he's center of screen at the moment. But the first 2 episodes, what's your overall impression?
Just took a mouthful. I love the my first like. I love how they keep flipping from like, well, the present, like the Last Dance, that present like environment that the whole extended series is about, and then kind of, dipping into some of the situations that led to what was happening there, and just going into Jordan's like come up, him as a child, influences Pippin's like situation and whatnot. So that's really cool. So like they keep you like engaged in regards to the ongoings of like what that Last Dance was. But that's my first like kind of. I just like how it's structured, how it's filmed. It's pretty intimate. It seems like they're being quite like candid, but it's only the first 2 episodes, so we're yet to really delve into everything yet. But yeah.
Yo, shout out Fred. Mm-hmm. Sorry, he just popped up.
Shout out to Fred. Thanks, James. Novum. Going to cut over to Novum. Novum, what was your first impressions of the 2 episodes?
Oh man, the first 2 episodes, I think it was great. It's definitely has a build up like for the third, the upcoming episodes, but what to take in. Like there's all these politics that I didn't know as a fan of the Bulls, like that was happening behind the scenes, and like the whole kind of like segment where Phil Jackson actually had to name each season, have to come up with a name, and leading up to this episode, The Last Dance, how it's actually like in paper, like that's the name of it, because that's the last time that the team's going to be together playing as the Bulls like dynasty. So who knows what's going to happen after that season, and you can kind of sense that like there's going to be a lot of that in the upcoming episodes. So that's just one thing, and like one of my favorite thing is like 30th minute, 51 seconds. So if you pause it, just
all right, that's all right. That's I'm gonna pass the case.
Yeah, first 2 episodes are pretty cool, man. I like Novum and James have said the whole like the behind the scenes of it all, the whole like how important the whole GM, Jerry Krause, and how he's almost like the supervillain of it all. But man, I don't know. I think he had a master plan and he kind of reached it. That whole kind of second three-peat, that whole goal. What do you do after the second three-peat, man? Like, you're not going to go selfishly get add for another one, like. And the whole Pippin saga, that to end that on the second episode was a bit of one of those cliffhanger moments, because I totally forgot about that. The whole kind of like the injury, being whole selfish and postponing his surgery until the season started, annoying Michael Jordan, like. And I actually forgot about that whole McDonald's championship thing in Paris. They used to do that where they had like all of the championship teams from all the different leagues around the world play in one tournament. I don't know why they don't do that anymore. That was pretty sick. Yeah, Mike was great. His swag was undeniable, man. That gold chain he did him run practice, just the swag about him. His oversized suits, the beret he was wearing around in Paris. That's like undeniable, untouchable.
Yeah. No, that's good. Thank you, Case. Hans,
What was that?
what's your first impressions of the 2 episodes that you just watched?
Oh wow! Well, I mean, you hear in bits and pieces from other videos and other commentators, but then to get this all access behind what's been said throughout the years through the horse's mouth, essentially from the goat's mouth, really enlightening. And what Case touched upon regarding that GM Kraus, and I know it brought up some very strong negative emotions. And how he handled the whole situation. And I guess like Pippin had his, what he wanted to do and how he wanted to be treated as well. Like, he can only play Batman's Robin for so long before he wanted your own spotlight.
Actually, I think that was like the thing that stood out to me was the commentary around he was number 2 in points, number 2 in all those statistical categories, number 1 in all these categories, and 6 paid. Like that to me was like, that's not cool. But he definitely got underpaid. Probably.
Can someone find that out?
He got paid as soon as he left Bulls to Portland. He got paid extra $9 million. He went from 2 to 3 mil to 11 mil in that season after he left the Bulls.
Crazy. All right, thank you, Hans. We're going to throw to Mignita. What are your thoughts on the first 2 episodes?
Yeah, I really liked the first 2 episodes. I think for someone like myself who didn't really grow up watching MJ play, it kind of gave a really good like backstory. There was a lot I didn't really know, especially like the politics behind the GM and the whole team. So I really enjoyed it. I think it left like episode 2, like Kay said, like it kind of left me on a cliffhanger, but I guess that's what's going to keep us continuing to watch it. I'm really stoked for the next one up.
Nice. Migs?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, even for myself, like grew up kind of watching MJ, I guess, from afar, but, a little bit disconnected, not being like a pure Bulls fan. But, you see, it's just nice to see the inner workings, I suppose, of what it takes to win, let alone repeat, and just the different pressures and like really like how Novum said, the politics behind what can happen within. It's like a business, isn't it? Like, people are coming with their own motivations and stuff from a business standpoint and from the player standpoint. Like the thing that really stuck with me and kind of struck me about that relationship between the organization and the players was, you've got the players like Jordan, who was from day one always about winning and, always competing. Whereas, you come from the general manager standpoint and the organization standpoint of treating it really much like a business, like even down to how they load managed his minutes as well after he broke his foot. It's just like mentally as a player to be told that you can't go out, but like, no one knows like how Kawhi and other players have also, had their own challenges managing those. When you're a player ready to go and you feel like you can go and someone's holding you back, naturally you're going to like rear up against that. And you can see the minute they lifted that load management during the playoffs, man, that guy went off. So,
I agree. I just wanted to throw this question out there. Someone from the crowd is asking, if you had to choose your Scottie Pippen on the Glebe Social court, who would it be? This is interesting. I'm segueing here. We're cutting from another question, but I might ask Mr. Collins, who is still on the stream with us.
Wow.
That's great.
Okay. With everybody, it's hard to choose one guy, girl. Obviously, it depends what I'm after. Do I want to shoot or what's that? Anyway, but my mind immediately goes to Casey. Immediately without thinking.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, fan. For so many reasons, like reliability, without a doubt. Like he's got a high ball IQ, He'll call
Wow.
computer blue when it needs to happen. But Casey just reads the court really well, especially in offense. Like he knows where I'm going. I've known Kyle for so long, right, Case? Like we finish each other's sandwiches. Casey knows.
It's the internet.
No. It's lagging. I got you. But Casey knows where I'm going to be, and you see, he just reads other people. He knows where Novem's going to run. He knows the routes. Kyle just I don't know if he thinks about it or if it's all instinct, but Casey knows the game.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're gonna make me cry.
That's a good one, Mike.
I'll go segue.
Sure.
That's a really great question, Bill. Tough always, but I'd probably go the dodgy route and not have a Scottie Pippen. I'll be the Jerry Krause of it all and put all my social in the team. Get Collins up in there, Novem, James, Jamie Nicky run the point. We got this. That's 6 championships. We'll go for 7, man.
Cisco, if you had to pick a Scottie Pippen on the Glebe Social court, who would you pick?
I don't know. I haven't played for a while. It's been a minute.
Why are you here then, bro?
Because I watched the show. I'm just gonna. I don't know. All you guys are great.
Yeah, it is a tough question. Hey, it's a very tough question because I think everyone plays different, and I'm with you, sis. I can't choose. If sorry to cut your section, but if I had to choose my Scottie Pippen, it'll have to be Karina. She sets the screen perfectly. No one else does that.
Yeah.
I'll say Enzo because he's about the size of a number 2.
All right. That's a good question. Thank you, Belynda, for that question. Frankie is saying everyone trying to be politically cool. Don't be shy. All right. Let's move on. Who have we heard from in a while? Nikki's back, so let's chat to Nikki for a second. Look, we're going to jump around places here, I guess, because it's very hard to produce and then look at the questions. So you're going to have to put up with my jumping around here. But Nikki, the question I have is, did you actually like MJ and the Bulls from the beginning? Were you always a fan, or did you grow to love him?
Oh, his mic's off.
Oh, his mic.
Oh, whoa.
Nicky, your mic's off, bro.
Muted himself.
Someone dub him right now.
Yo, Nicky, your mic's off, dog.
Oh, all right. Well, while Nikki tries to work that out, maybe we'll jump to.
Hey Nick, if you can try and write your comments on the live comments, we can go back to you in a bit.
We'll come back to Nikki. Migs, were you always a Jordan or Bulls fan from the beginning, or have you ever been a Jordan Bulls fan? I know you're a Celtics guy, but
I was always aware of them because I'd always know, like I said before, that I'd always hope my Celtics would get past them. But I was very much an Eastern Conference guy, so I always paid attention to the Reggie Indiana days, John Starks Knicks with Ewing, and then obviously with Chicago, I suppose. I was just really looking forward to, I don't know, seeing someone else potentially get into the finals. But the minute you get to Eastern Conference finals and then you see the Bulls, it's they're hands down the team of the early 90s. There's no way you could, they had all the pieces, I think, particularly in the second three-peat. Everyone, they had the depth. They had Rodman. They had, Steve Kerr for the final shot as well to get them in. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the better team wins. So, and I don't think, for me as a Celtics fan, I can argue with that. So,
Novum, I know you're a Bulls fan, but I don't know. Have you always been a Bulls fan?
always will, and always have and always will. Sorry, like wrong way around. But yeah, like definitely growing up in the 90s, all my uncles were all Bulls fan. So every time we're watching like the playoffs, the finals, I kind of felt like, oh, like everyone's following the Bulls. I may as well go for it. But I actually ended up liking the team, the franchise, the history of the team. So I think when MJ retired for the second time, I was kind of like following the Nets with Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, like that era, like when they were in the finals for like a couple of times. But yeah, like I have to say, like they're definitely my team. So
Okay, cool. Where's Cisco? I wanted to get Cisco back here. Let me try and grab him. Here he is. Cisco, I know I've seen you rock a pair of Jordans and a bunch of jerseys. Is that just, is the Bulls your team, or what's the story with Jordan and the Bulls for you?
Yeah, no, the Bulls have always been my team. Yeah, as soon as I chose them against my dad, pretty much followed them the whole way. I got to watch. Well, I was in the States when they were playing the Blazers, so I got to watch those games like with my cousins and stuff in the States. And then I pretty much just searched out all these jerseys. I pretty much have all of them. I don't wear any of them, and some of them are like triple extra large because they were the last ones left. But yeah, so yeah, always been a Jordan fan. I wear the number 23 not because I think I'm Jordan, but because I won it in a competition against my friends when we were 15. So we had to shoot free throws, and like last one left, got to wear the number. So
Cool story,
I won it. But yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, huge Jordan fan.
All right, very cool. Let's see how we're gonna do this. All right, let's go to who have we heard from in a while? Have we heard from everyone? Nikki's still not around, so I can't even get Nikki on. So I'm trying, brother, but you're not there. All right, something about the Bulls team. Who is the most underrated Bulls player from either of the three-peats?
Luke Longley.
Novum. Oh, Luke Longley.
Luke Longley. Wait, like, are we talking about the first three-peat or the second?
Either of them. Of any Bulls championship team, who is the most underrated Bulls player from either of those championship teams?
I personally think that like Rowan Harper played a big role in three-peat. So, like as a backup sort of point guard for the Bulls. And like when Ron Harper is on fire, like he's unstoppable. Like you can definitely see that like he had that will to win, and he wanted to follow like that footstep of like just being a great champion. So for me, he's definitely like one of the most underrated kind of like player in the Bulls franchise. Luke Longley, like yeah, maybe, but I would go with Ron Harper.
Sorry. Cool. James, I haven't heard from you in a while. Who's the most underrated Bulls player from any of the championship seasons?
Yeah, we're messing around saying Luke Longley and whatnot, but I'd still say Rodman. Like defense wins championships, to be able to just take that punishment, come back for more, not get that many, like to have that motivation to just do your skill set and, and dish the ball out consistently. Like, I mean, he did get praise for it, but I still think being a great defensive player is just super underrated, and yeah, it's a lot of work because you don't it's not the same stat line, so people just don't look at it the same. So I'd still say Rodman.
I got one of Rodman's intro though.
And he drank a lot and didn't sleep that much. It still turned up and fucked shit up. So
True. I got one guy that's mad, like underrated, that you guys probably haven't seen, or you probably heard of him, but he looked like the biggest doofus in the world. Jamie, can you queue up something? I sent you a link. I don't know if this will work. This is interactive live YouTubing, guys. I don't know if you guys remember this dude. He was all over the first 2 episodes, though. Let's see.
Give me a sec. Sorry, I'm going to bump someone.
That's it.
Ben Winnington.
That guy was tip dunking on everybody.
Underrated.
You know, behind Longley. Check this video out. It is the dopiest white guy hillbilly you've ever seen in my life. Check this out. This is on Morning. Holla at your boy, Morning. Damn. Look at him.
It's true.
He looks like some guy from the Tiger King or something like that. He was dunking on everybody, man.
Yeah.
But I just remember him off the bench, like legit just tip dunking. Like, yeah. That's my guy.
That's your guy. Okay, cool. Thanks, Case. Who else? Anyone else got a underrated play they want to shout out? Don't know, talk at once. All right. You guys suck at that one. Next. All right. Where we at? The question is, has anyone seen Jordan in the flesh?
Playing?
Playing
on, just walking down the street, never.
Playing.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
not playing.
Let me see who's in the stream. Let me pull this guy. Hello, Novum. Have you seen a play in the flesh?
I wish. That would be pretty cool, but no.
Oh, I think we got Nikki back. No, we don't. We lost Nikki again. Just can't catch a break.
Hey, Jamie.
Yeah.
I think going back to like Bill Wennington, I think he's actually part of the coaching staff now for the current Bulls.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
That's cool. That's a cool story.
Talent executive or something, but he's part of it. So great dude, man.
I actually saw MJ play in the Last Dance season in Toronto. I was very lucky. My family got me tickets. It was at Air Canada Centre at the time, I think, or Rogers Centre. And I was actually feeling sick that day, but nothing was going to stop me from getting my seats. I think I was about 15 rows from the front. I was right in the middle at center court. And he put on a show, but he only played like 3 quarters, I reckon. And then he just sat down the rest of the fourth because I think they blew him out by like 30. But I have seen MJ play, so that's something to remember.
Jamie's flu game.
Yeah, my flu game. All right. Let's go back to. I'm gonna cut some people. I'm gonna throw some. Let's try this. Cisco having a little puff.
I was like, dang.
Favorite moment from The Last Dance so far, Mike?
Well, it was amazing. I loved seeing all the shots from the 90s took me straight back there. I got on the phone to my brother who introduced me to basketball, and it was just like all of the shots of the 90s just took me into that moment, and I forgot where I was and who I was. But with the politics, that was phenomenal to see the other side of it, because growing up, all you see is the on-court action, and the behind the scenes are amazing. But my favorite moments, catching Jordan, watching the video of his mum read the letter, and him laughing and like getting teary-eyed, and all these really sort of gut punch emotions come out of them. Seeing Pippen crying at when he's talking to the crowd, receiving, after they won the 5th title, all that stuff that you didn't see is just, that's incredible to me.
I think I like the best when I just hear Jordan swear, like hearing him come thrown out. is fucking grand. But anyway, Mignita, what favorite moment so far from the 2 episodes?
I think for me it was the scene where he took the last shot in the UNC game in college ball. That really nice picture from the sideline. That was phenomenal. I think just the fact that the photographer was able to get that shot was insane. So I loved it. A funny moment that we both replayed was in the second episode at the start, where he gets clobbered by all these reporters, and he makes this funny face because he's just like, oh, all these guys surrounding me. So that was a funny moment for us.
Hans, what about you?
There's probably a couple of scenes in that. Speaking when in France, that Frenchman that asked for his autograph, he got shut down. That was hilarious.
Cisco. Sorry. Keep going.
And also how Pippin just framed his whole his emotions, his mentality of why he did what he had to do. You know, of his family, his dad. I didn't know that side of his family. Coming from 12 children, 2 in wheelchairs. It's just, puts everything into perspective.
I agree. And what about you, Sis?
I'm liking getting the present day commentary from the players, especially to see their emotion as they're talking about it. I think the most intense, obviously, is Scotty's version of it, and how you can still see in his face how he feels about the whole situation. And I also wonder why Michael Jordan got a costume change. He changed outfits, but everyone else isn't, because there's one he got special treatment.
What are you talking about?
Which part?
At the start, he's wearing camo shorts and a tee, and then it goes to where he's wearing jeans, and
Sex scene,
everyone else is. Huh?
He's getting ready for the sex scene.
The deleted scenes.
30 minutes, 51 seconds.
I figured, I was watching that and I was like, it's throwing me because he was wearing 2 different things, but I guess it was interviewed over a couple of days and stuff. So,
yeah, but everyone else is still wearing the same stuff.
True. What about you, James?
Maybe they cut it and edited it.
It could have been 2. They were just slicing from 2 different portions of video. But yeah, definitely what was said previously in regards to just them being in present time and looking back on those times, and you can still see the emotion associated with it. You can still, maybe how they're looking at it now compared to back then and whatnot. But it seems like Jordan's views hasn't really changed that much. He was just he's always oh yeah, Pippen was wrong for doing that. And, I think he thought about it at the time, and his opinions and views haven't changed about a lot of things. I didn't hear him looking at things retrospectively and thinking, oh, maybe that could have been different. He seems quite, as he said, everything win at all costs. So, so that's, I get that. But that's probably just getting their perspective now, because a lot has changed in the NBA. I get looking at Pippen's situation, I get it. Coming from not having anything, because he sounded like he just, family was tough. So he just wanted to secure the bag for the fam, and he saw that, he wasn't advised appropriately, and he didn't know what was going to happen in the future. Didn't know how the salary cap was going to change, how big the NBA was going to get, how big Jordan, the Bulls were going to get. And, but yeah, still 7 years is pretty ridiculous to sign long. But I look at, when you hear, his story, I look at it like that. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's not like you weren't getting paid. 18 million is still a hell of a lot of money. So
I think the hardest thing is that his contract was 17 million, but unlike MJ and some of the other guys, his endorsement money wasn't as much either. So it wasn't like he was getting paid well off the court. He was probably getting, like he had one signature shoe, right, or a couple of signature shoes, but that's it. Everyone was buying, Jordans, not buying Air Pippins, except for me because I hated Jordan at first. But anyway, Belynda's asking, what do you think Jordan fans, or what do you think Jordan wants his fans to get out of watching this docuseries? I might throw to Novum on this one.
That is a great question. So, Belynda, thank you for asking that question, wherever you are. I think for me, what's the biggest stake? What do Jordan want to get out of this? I think if you love the game of basketball, if you're a diehard Bulls fan, or you don't have to be a diehard Bulls fan, I think just knowing exactly what process they go through, the sacrifice that they make as a team, as an individual, to basically reach one goal. I think for me, it's just knowing that, one, there's also life after basketball. You don't have to kind of like focus your whole attention to being so drawn into like the game. Like what Scottie Pippen did, like James mentioned it before, like he wanted something for his family. So for him to actually just like make that decision, sign that contract, that's for his family. He was able to buy his mom a house, and things like that. So, but I don't know, like that's all I can think of. It's just like knowing exactly like, back then it's just not about basketball. It's also about like creating this dynasty that everyone's going to remember for the rest of their lives. And I think there was also a part of like the interview when after the draft they asked him like, what do you think about, how are you feeling about the Bulls franchise right now? And all he wanted to be is to make the franchise as well known as the Lakers, the Sixers, and the Boston Celtics. So he just really wanted to kind of like build something from nothing, and then like to be a great franchise.
Yep, agree.
Well, I want to throw this out there as well. There was like reports coming out saying, look, Jordan allowed this unseen video and documentary to go ahead when Cavs were celebrating their 2016 celebration. I mean, it could be also, he just wants to remind the world that, look, we're still the best to do it, and that's the same season the Warriors had their 73 win season. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just to remind everyone, you guys are good, but you'll never be us good. Yeah, 100% agree that he is showing people that how hard it was to do back then, with no social media, no this whole LeBron teaming up, super team kind of stuff. And he had Bill Wennington coming off the bench. Come on now. That's like, he didn't go to any teams besides coming out for the Wizards, but he did it pretty much the same franchise over that period of time. That was like, no one, I don't think anyone else could have come close. I mean, maybe those dynasties, the Spurs would have, but just to show these guys who these kids, these bandwagon kids, with LeBron joining the Lakers, like teaming up with AD, it's like it's such a different kind of league nowadays compared to what it was. Without the help of the GM, or really without the support of the GM.
That's right. Yeah.
Everyone hated the GM and still, Jerry Krause pulled through. Underrated though. Hot take.
I'm curious what's everybody thought. Because he's not here to defend himself, Jerry Krause, and he's being painted as the villain for the most part. How does everybody feel about that?
I don't know. I'd like to think that they wouldn't have got it without Jerry Krause. The whole trading for Bill Cartwright for Oakley, draft. He drafted Scottie Pippen. That's all Jerry Krause, and he obviously had his own ways. He won 5 championships before the beef started happening.
He was the architect of it originally.
Yeah, he already reached the pinnacle of his thing, and he's just like, oh, let's just blow it up now. I think he was just bored by the end of it, and he was just like, like they were just said, like he had that small man syndrome.
His
You know,
ego
like-
got in the way.
Egos.
Exactly. But I mean, like, I think he, he's probably got some side hustle girl on the side telling him that he deserves more. You know what I mean? He's whispering in his ear, Jerry, come back to bed. You should be the one holding the bloody trophies, And I don't blame him, man. 5 seasons, not getting any love, for sure. I'd start putting my hand up too.
Yeah.
Can I just say that after Case just said that, like the number of people watching this stream went up.
Team Jerry, man. Team Jerry.
I always heard that he was the instigator of the whole thing blowing up, but it's good that they've shown people say that he was a good guy. I think they're not gonna. It's good that they're not letting him just be the bad guy. They have said that he was.
With all due respect, they gave 5 there was 5 compliments to him, and that was it. And then they continued on. They were like, he was great with kids. You saw him outside, and then they just passed on it, and they went back to shitting on him.
Yeah,
which was my issue with it, because he was incredible at his job. And they were right. Like Pippen was going to go. Sure, he signed a bad contract for 7 years or 8 years or what have you, but he was going to go regardless. So if you got to trade him if you can, it makes total sense. Apart from the juggling act with him and Jordan and that whole season, but he's the man. Apart from being just a shitty boss, basically, he was still the man.
Better than any GM T-Wolves ever got. Putting it out, I'd have Jerry Krause back for sure.
Did anyone ever recreate a moment on the court? Did you ever, pretend to be, Jordan over Elo, when you're shooting around by yourself or anything like that? Did you ever recreate a moment?
Every time I play.
What moment though?
All of them. In my head, this is Jordan dribbling. This is it.
I look too much like Elo, so no.
I remember I tried I had this thought I tried to channel him when he did the baseline Ewing baseline drop step dunk, but I obviously can't get up. But there's someone fending me close. I just dropped my front foot around him, drop stepped, and went up for the layup, and it went in. I just had that moment flashback right on the left post, just going around someone and getting that in. I was like, oh yeah, if I was 2 feet taller.
What about you, Novum? Did you ever try and recreate an MJ move or something?
Did I not? Oh. Actually, even the commercials, back then, the Nike ads and the commercials, I would always just kind of have that in the back of my mind. My favorite one is 2 of my favorites are the Jordan 11, the quote unquote with the very, very tall ring. So that was one of my favorite commercials. And then the second one was the playoffs 12s, when he was just, it's all about challenging him about his age. He was at the gym trying to push weights at the age of 35 or something, and he just wants to be challenged, I guess. So I always have that in the back of my head. So.
Oh snap! Nikki's back.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I put
Thank you.
in. I went for episode 30.
Got one spot in the house gets you connection.
It's
Must have been those
hotspot. curtains, those drapes.
Is there a dead body behind that door?
Yo. It's
Nikki, what's your
Manny
favorite
for you, man. What is it, KKC?
favorite Jordan move?
Favorite Jordan move, of all time, or just
Last week. Come on, all time.
of last
What a savage. Leave him. Yes, of all time, Nikki, go.
Oh man, there's so many.
There's obviously the one against LA in the finals. He didn't have to switch hands, but he did.
Yeah.
Obviously the baseline one against Ewing, because
Yeah.
and I don't know. There's too many to name.
Actually, the one on the Lakers wasn't his. He said that he saw Sam Perkins like reach for it, so
Yeah.
that's why he did the move.
I saw a hand go up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he saw Perkins' hand go up. So,
Phantom.
yeah.
Finesse it.
Is Nikki
All
still
right.
here?
Yeah, Nikki's there.
Nikki, if you could choose,
Yeah, stay here.
there was a question before from Belynda.
Yeah.
Who would be your Scottie Pippen on the Glebe Social team?
Oh man, that's tough. I love everybody, man.
Come on.
Basically, whoever passes me the ball, that's my Scottie Pippen.
Nicky's Jordan in the Wizards.
All right. I got one more question in my notes list here. Let me just chuck on some guys. Who haven't we heard from?
Nikki. Let's hear from Nikki.
Yeah, let's remove that. I want to put Cisco back on. Nikki, let's start with you. Favorite pair of Air
Yeah,
Jordans?
sure. Ooh, that's tough as well, man. It's either the 11 Concords or the ones or the 13s that he got game. 13s.
No, you can only pick one.
Oh, I'm going to pick one. 11 Concords.
Novum?
Hands down, 12 taxis.
12 taxi. Case? Breads.
11s.
Yeah. Hans?
I've got the threes, the ice creams.
Ice cream. Cisco?
Oh,
Kobe 10.
I don't know. That's too hard.
Mike's listening, man. He's going to send you a pair.
The 11 Columbias.
All right. Juanita?
Jordan 3s.
Jordan 3.
Black cements.
Yeah. Migs?
Tough. I haven't owned a pair yet, but I think because I'm more for performance. Lifestyle, I love the one. I think it's just a classic shoe. Even just looking back at the footage and stuff from the first two episodes, it's just amazing to see that someone actually played in them. Most people don't even wear them to play anymore. But and I also noticed that in I think the first episode they had the band one and also the airships there in the white and red colorway.
Yeah.
That looked really sick. So I want to actually see those come back out. But performance-wise, I mean, yeah, 11s or even the modern stuff, the 28 for me, or even right now the 34s. But yeah, for the ones we want.
Just one. I know what shoes you want,
One.
Just
The one. All right. Mike Collins?
Although I love Elements of 5, I'm going with Concords, the 11s.
Novum?
I've already answered. Sorry, bro. But
Oh, sorry. Did you? Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Poor host here. Who have I missed? James? Whoa.
And 7 Raptors, Raptors to playing. That's it.
I think we did everyone, yeah? Was that everyone we've asked? Have I missed anyone? Nikki, we got. Hans, we got. All right.
Wait, did we get you?
How about you,
Hey,
Jamie?
16s, Cherrywood.
Cherrywood.
You guys.
16.
They're available on FX.
Yeah.
I saw.
Why
I'll check.
16s, Jamie? Why 16s?
16. Okay, honestly, the 16s, when Ali and I used to play comp, the 16s were a little narrow. They were tight. So it felt like wearing gloves. So it's like my speed shoes. So like I felt faster in the 16s. That's why they're my favorite, because I used to, and I was young. I was probably like 21 and I could run. So, you know, I could get up and down the court a lot better than I can now. So, but yeah, 16s, super tight speed shoes.
Did you wear them with the shroud or without the shroud?
Oh, with the shroud, with the purple shroud, with the cherrywood shroud.
So the reversed.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Amazing.
Like this. Massive.
Well, they're all the questions I had for our first little live stream. It's gone interestingly. Anyone have some final comments, I guess, for the moment?
Where did Nicky go? Is he still here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back here. Had a bit of a Teddy Riley moment. last three. Last.
Hey, Nicky.
Oh,
Are
thank you.
Or are you anti Jerry Krause?
Oh, he did break up the Bulls, man. But yeah, he did what he had to do, but it's not an easy job.
He put them together too, mind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hired Phil Jackson, so you know, but you know, Jordan was the foundation of all. You know,
Did you answer my
from
question? Are you team Jerry Krause or anti Jerry Krause?
I'm gonna have to say anti.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
Anti Jerry Krause, yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. That's it. Let's say goodbye, I guess. We'll try and do this. Goodbye, Case.
See you guys. Catch you all next week, right? We're doing this weekly, is that right?
Yeah, let's do this next week
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I see you, Enzo.
Episode
Next
1, 38 minutes, 51 seconds. Pause it.
Goodbye, Novum. Goodbye, Juan and Migs.
Thanks, guys. See you
Hey
next week.
guys.
Goodbye, Blair Witch Nikki.
Peace out, guys.
Bye, Hans.
See you guys. See you next week.
Peace, Hans.
Cisco.
Bye. Next week.
James Jimmer.
Peace. Peace, Mike. Peace, Jamie.
Peace. Be good.
Mike Collins.
Thank you, Jamie. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
That's it. See you later.
Oh.
Oh, we're all back. Oh, no.